Good evening, Internet, and welcome to Top Shift 63. And I'm searching for bounties so that I can visit Todd, the Blaster McQuinn, one of the engineers who does lots of things with blast it. Now, what's just happened there is that guy is obviously a pirate. He was firing on innocent ships, but because I attacked him before his status of wanted came up, I'm now wanted. And it does seem that the police are more interested in him, or rather in me, than him. So, we've got to get out of Dodge. Now, this is a little bit of a misnomer with Elite Dangerous. You've got to have the scan complete and the wanted status come up, because they're assumed innocent until that scan comes up. And oh no, right, so I've now got 9 minutes or so to muck about in this system, and to be honest, I don't really want to be about when other players are, because as soon as other players see that you're wanted, they think that you're easy meat. So I think I'm going to have to jump out, and once I've cleared this status, I will be back with a nice clean record, and hopefully we'll be able to rack up a few more bounties and then go visit Mr. McQuinn, hopefully for my first ever encounter of the engineers in the real game.
2, 1, engage.
And we're back, yes. So that took me at least half an hour to clear off the status, which is good. So we're now approaching the McQuinn's base. Now, each of these engineers' bases are uniquely designed. There's not two the same. Originally I thought there was about 30, but apparently there's about 17. Which, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. And each of them you'll either discover through Galnet or influence through other engineers, and they will tell you where they live. You've then got to gain influence with them, and hopefully after a little bit of toing and froing for them, they'll still be able to start modding equipment for you. Now, as you can see, we're now approaching the base. It's I hope it's actually on the light side, because you get a better view. There seems to be plenty of players around as well, so it was always a little nervous as you approach, because you never know if there is a player out there who just might have a little bit of an itchy trigger finger. Should be approaching planetary. There we are, planetary approach. Now, at this moment in 2.1, it says they are working on a new point release where
Flight engaged.
they're going to make a slight change. They've already made quite a few changes to the requirements for some of these engineers. Most of their entry requirements are a lot lower. And also on top of that, they've made the recipes easier to collect. Before in the beta, the recipes were far more complex, and they shouldn't be called recipes. They're called blueprints. That's one thing that a lot of the devs at Frontier got a little bit upset about, the fact we're all calling them recipes. So they thought we were baking a cake or something. Here we go, orbital cruise, into glide mode, and it is the night side. So I'm afraid to say we will see the base lit up, but we won't see it in its whole full daylight glory. The other thing that I should make you aware that a lot of these bases, they're in at least 1G, so approaching them, especially in the bigger ships, is a lot more of a challenge. So we're 13 kilometers away, that's not too bad. Night time, if you do look about it,
Lakon Papa Hotel Oscar. Automated flight control protocol initiated. Please submit a request prior to landing.
There we go. Shouldn't be too difficult. I have to get within the usual 7.5k. The base is quite extensive because you can see it from here.
Docking permission authorized. You may proceed to landing pad 07.
Now you might also notice that I'm wandering. Now this is the effect of the gravity on the ship's model, on the flight model rather. The bigger the ship, the more it wanders, and with more gravity, obviously. I have taken a T9 down onto a 2G planet before, and that was a challenge, shall we say. I'm lucky that I survived it. At one point, I practically had that massive ship on its tailpipe in order to land. Right, so there's our landing pad. That means I have to do a reverse. I am very close to the ground, even though you can't see any detail on it. And even looking up. Oh, that night sky's really pretty. There we go. And the more observant of you will notice that the landing pads on this are blue. It's nice to have a bit of variety because, you know, it was everything seems to be so orange. Right, here we go. Landing. Oh,
Landing gear deployed.
there we go. And we're in. Nice and easy.
Docking procedure completed. Ship secured. Greetings, Commander.
And here we are, nice and safely down. Now, of course, Trophy Camp is the name of the place because the guy was an expert at CQC. So all this will be available on his history, and you'll be able to see exactly what he's done in the past. Now, each of the engineers has an extensive backstory, and their motivations are pretty obvious, mostly in the way that you have to, well, the equipment that they create, and also the influence that you have to do in order to get the equipment. So you can see here that he's got his full history, and he's wanting his 100,000 credits in bounties. So that's that paid, and you can see I've already got access to one of his items. It will first of all just show up what you've got on your ship, but there are ways to show what he's fully capable of. And yep, I'm just checking through here. We have 100,000 credits in bounties missing, so that's him fully paid up, and he's happy to mod my equipment. Now, as I was saying, the guy is aligned with the Alliance, which is good to see. I must admit, in the game itself, I don't think the Alliance has been getting much attention. There's been a lot of complaints in the game that, you know, the Empire and the Federation have their own battleships, they have their own missions and basically promotion paths. So there has been a little bit of a clamour for the Alliance to have something similar. So we'll just look through, and you can see that you can get more than just the blaster cannons that I've got fitted on my Asp. So now we'll start and see what we can have modified. Now I have two Class 1 gimbaled multi-cannons in the front, and I would love them to be to have bigger magazines. And unfortunately it doesn't seem that I've got much in the way of the requirements that are needed there. As you can see, the greyed out ones I don't have access to yet because I don't have the influence, The red ones, I don't have the equipment, and hopefully, I'm hoping I've got a yellow one somewhere that I can trade in. This isn't looking good at the moment. Now, one of the modifications they have made lately is if you moved your mouse pointer over those ingredients, it would tell you where you find them, because that was one of the things that was missing. Right, I'm going to just blueprint this one. So that means that this should be saved every time I look him up. So that means I now know exactly what I need to be looking for. It's available on the right hand panel under the engineers section. Always very useful if you need to reference the... Oh, hang on. Yes, I can go with a lightweight mount. Okay. No. Can you overcharge your weapon? I didn't think you could overcharge multi-cannons, but hey ho. Right, and I should have enough there. Ah, there's a tooltip. You should have enough there for 2 of them, so I'm gonna mod both of my multi-cannons. So now this is the RNG effect that everybody's on about. Now Frontier have implemented this because they don't want people min-maxing. Now again, this has been proved to be slightly controversial because it's such a random number generator, you won't get 100% of what you want. You just have a better chance of getting something you want. So in this case, you know, I get a 7% benefit, and this experimental effect is what everybody is really excited about, because these are the special effects that everybody has been after. These are where you will get your heat damage, they will get your repair special effects, and unfortunately the random effect generator has been toned down a lot since beta, because obviously beta, they wanted everyone to test these effects. However, what they didn't understand, or what they seemed to miss, was the fact that everybody really were planning builds based around these effects, and that has caused a little bit of a misunderstanding with the community. Frontier, to their credit, have gone and put forward proposals that these special effects can then be bought at the expense of your reputation. And as you can see, nothing. Yeah, I think that the special effects on this have gone down to about 2% success rate, as opposed to the 80% success rate there was before. So it does mean a lot of extra grinding and frustration just watching that go around, especially when you spend ages farming for things. So we now have 2 fully kitted out multi-cannons. So we'll just bring the ship back up to full spec, and then I'm going to have to go searching for a new engineer. Obviously I'm going to try and get more influencers, as many as possible, so that each engineer will then tell you where another engineer can be found. And as you can see, the ASP I've got at the moment is fully kitted out. Although I am concerned, I don't think the ASP at the moment... There you go, you can actually see... I could replace it with fragmentation cannons, but I think the multi-cannon is more useful, I think I'll leave, and flexible, so I think I'll leave the multi-cannons. We have it on the ship. So that's my first visit to an engineer. I've managed to get a couple of enhancements to some of my ship, I know that there are at least, in listening to 2 other engineers which require a lot of work in order to get influence enough for them to modify my thrusters and frameshift drive. As you can see, I'm almost there as a trader. You can see 90 something. I need to get my trading up to the next level before I think I proceed. Go just to cross it off the list. But thanks for staying with me, and till next time. Good night.